Welcome to this review of my Keychron Q16HE keyboard. This was a donation from Keychron, who have sent me loads of stuff over the years, which is nice as I tend to like their products quite a bit. Today we're looking at something that's quite different from what I've shown from them before, that is, or at least claims to be, the world's first fully ceramic keyboard. And unlike what the keyboard's name might lead you to believe, it's not actually Hall effect, it's a TMR keyboard instead. Now, ceramic keycaps are not a new thing. I've covered sets from, for example, Cerakeys before in the channel, but with this keyboard, it's actually the whole case that's ceramic as well. It is even marketed as fully ceramic, but obviously that's not the case, as there are some non-ceramic parts in here as well. But there was some confusion about the nature of the materials as well, as these sound and feel quite different from Cerakeys' ceramic keycaps. So I asked the guys at Keychron, and apparently both the keycaps and the case are made out of the same stuff, which they tout as a modern alternative to traditional ceramic materials. It's composed of sintering clay and organic materials, which I pried into a bit because to me that sounded like an obfuscation for polymers. But according to them, that means urea and enzymes, which are used as a sort of templating material. With their permission, I'm going to show you a video of their production process because I want to give people as much insight into this as possible so that you can make up your own mind, because I feel this is a pretty crucial point in the review.
Its production process is similar to that of ceramic knives. It starts with a blend of clay and organic materials that is shaped using a high-pressure die casting mold and hardened through high-temperature sintering. After firing, the ceramic cases are polished and coated for a refined premium finish. The keycaps follow a similar journey. This is the ceramic sheet after sintering, which will be cut into individual keycaps before moving on to the same finishing steps. Once the pieces are ready, they move on to printing before heading into assembly.
Now, with all that said and done, what are they actually like? Well, as you would expect, they feel extremely smooth, basically like a mirror, completely devoid of any kind of texturing, apart from homing bumps on the F and J keys, of course. Some people really like this. Personally, I'm kind of indifferent either way, but if you like smooth keycaps, then something like this might make a lot of sense. As for the sound, they provide a very interesting audio profile. Of course, this is not just a result of the keycaps, but also the chassis, which, because it's also ceramic, is quite unique. The strange thing about this sound is that I can't make my mind up about whether it's actually muted or not. The keycaps themselves seem to lend themselves to a lot of clacking noise, but there is also a highly suppressed bassy undertone that sounds more like a dampened keyboard. In my previous Cerakeys review, I noted that the sound is nicely enhanced by their keycaps and that I thought Cerakeys actually undersold their products on this point. So contrary to what you might think, the Cerakeys caps actually brought out the sound of the keyboard quite a bit, which is why I included a typing demonstration on a chassis that amplified typing sounds as well, and the result was quite satisfying. Now, though the keyboard itself appears to be designed to give a more muted sound profile when tested side by side, it is immediately obvious that the Cerakeys keycaps produce a way bassier typing sound. Listen to this. Now, this may be to your liking or not, and honestly I feel like the keyboard overall isn't exactly quiet, but it's a difference you might be interested in. In fact, the keycaps feel so fundamentally different to the Cerakeys one that I originally doubted as to whether these were actually ceramic at all. And I know I'm not the only one, because I've seen loads of discussions online about this point, which is why I wanted to include that detailed description at the start of the video. Now, I'm not sure what the exact material difference is between the two, but I do know that it is significant, because despite both claiming to be effectively the same stuff and being of nearly identical thickness and profile, a number row Cerakeys cap weighs more than 4.2 grams, while a Keychron one is less than 2.6. Or in imperial units, simply multiply those numbers by 15.54236 for the weight in grains of wheat and by 11.57427 for grains of barley. What this means is that the Cerakeys one weighs well over half again as much as the Keychron one. For reference, an OG ABS double-shot cherry keycap is almost exactly half the weight of the Keychrons at a bit under 1.3 grams, so it's definitely not just plastic as some people think, but the enormous weight difference with the Cerakeys perhaps explains some of the confusion people have been having. Again, whether you like the more muted sound or not is a matter of personal preference. Personally, one thing I'd like to point out is that this sort of navy colorway is probably not the best choice for this kind of keyboard. Granted, it's better than the corpse green alternative color that they stock, but these things gross up like a motherfucker. Dust and fingerprints are very obvious on them. I deliberately didn't clean this keyboard before doing this review, and this is what they look like after about 2 weeks of use, maybe 3, which is pretty bad. Now, I'm not saying the Cerakeys ones don't do that, but they offer many different colorways and patterns on which this isn't so obvious. For example, the Crazed set I reviewed pretty much completely camouflages this. The ceramic chassis is probably the thing that saves it here for me, because in my opinion at least, the Cerakeys keycaps are just way nicer and better looking. Again, you may like the more muted sound better instead, but the chassis is something no one else does yet, and so that at the very least is a genuine unique selling point. Segueing into the keyboard itself, it's a tiny motherfucker, and currently I think this is the only size option they stock. I assume scaling these up is much more problematic with ceramic chassis than it is with plastic or metal ones. It weighs about 950 grams, which is a lot heavier than a plastic chassis, but not as heavy as a metal one, predictably. And while I normally do flex and drop tests with this sort of thing, I'm going to skip that in this case. I don't know how fragile the case is exactly, and I'm not about to find out. But that it's not as tough as steel or even aluminium is probably a given, I think. A nice extra for this keyboard, and probably intended for gamers, hence the keyboard's small size, is the fact that this is a TMR keyboard, which is a magnetic sensing method that uses quantum tunneling to analyze stroke depth. I did a detailed teardown video on TMR switches and keyboards. If you're interested, go check it out. It's one of the most whimsical switch technologies I've ever heard of, which is saying something. TMR is one of the 2 technologies currently vying for Hall Effect's switch crown, the other one being inductive, and like inductive, it has several advantages over HE, including greater sensitivity, accuracy and resolution, as well as lower power consumption. HE and TMR are fundamentally different enough that they aren't necessarily interchangeable, but as the switches are just a slider with a magnet embedded in them anyway, a magnetic switch could, in theory, be compatible with both. The sensing technology in either case is determined PCB side by the sensor type more than it is the switches. The switches in this one are called Keychron Ultrafast Magnetic Lime, by the way. As with Hall Effect switches, these TMR ones are contactless and analog capable, and they are extremely smooth, with a light weighting just shy of that of MX Red at 30 to 55 grams. I really like them. I think these are excellent, though they have a slightly shorter throw than MX Reds at 3.5mm in total. Now, in terms of performance, while these are superior to Hall Effect sensing on paper, it shouldn't be forgotten that HE switches are already very high performance themselves, and I don't rightly know what I could possibly do to distinguish them in any practical real-world test, really. Maybe this is something that esports freaks might feel or whatever, but I definitely can't notice it during gaming. That said, it's really good either way. The keyboard is currently $230, which is quite a smack of money for such a tiny keyboard. And while the ceramic chassis is definitely a unique thing, I recently showed a keycap set unboxing from Tactype, who want to make ceramic keycaps a standard rather than a luxury, and their 60% set costs just $39, so frankly being ceramic is no longer an excuse to be expensive. I guess you kind of have to pay it if you want the ceramic chassis, but for me the Cerakeys ones overall feel and sound way better. Oh yeah, and it's got RGB, by the way. Overall, I'm a bit conflicted by it. I love the feel of the switches, it performs very nicely, and the super glossy finish is kind of cool in my opinion. It reminds me a bit of patent leather dress shoes. On the other hand, the tiny size, smudge happiness, the somewhat bland colorway, and just the feeling that the material could feel and sound way better were definite negatives. Now, it is a genuinely well-performing gaming keyboard on top of the ceramic gimmick as well, so it's not a one-trick pony, but whether it's worth the money is up to you, I guess. Personally, I prefer Cerakeys' keycaps, but they don't do a whole keyboard, and they're much louder. So there is a niche for this, even if it is an expensive one. That's it for this review. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and following is a typing demonstration of me typing on this keyboard.